Hello, welcome here to this YouTube video. This is Ray from ExplorerRay.com and what's going to be a cooler winter up here in northern Norway. Today I'm going to give you a little travel tip, and it's about safety. This is something that's very important to me. And what I'm going to show you today is my emergency kit, which I bring when I go on long trips or trips off the beaten track. So here we go. First off, this is a case. This case here is a so-called B&W International Outdoor Cases Type 05. Type 05 is probably one of the smallest ones they have, and that's an important thing. This case here is dustproof, shockproof, almost waterproof, I would guess. It has this kind of like little thing here which lets water out if it should get in, and it can handle a beating, and this is very important. It opens here into these two hatches, and it's quite sturdy. So why do I have an emergency case? The emergency case I have because when something happens, you should be prepared for anything. And if you're traveling outside the beaten track, it's not often that you can go to a medical facility or a doctor's office or something at once, or maybe even if you can, they might not have what you need. In other cases, you can get robbed, mugged, or you can get in some kind of injury. You should be able to help yourself a little bit. So what I'm trying in this very small little emergency kit is to just be able to handle certain difficulties at the very early stages. And the kit itself, I just leave in my backpack. I don't take it out, or I usually not bring it with me if I'm storing it in a secure place, because part of the solution is to have it sealed off from the rest of my gear. So what is inside? This is what it looks like inside. You can see it's rather like messy, but it works for me. First off, I want to show you these things here. I have 3 of those. These are snap light, like candle sticks, or like light sticks, safety light sticks. I have it here in red and yellow, but you find it in green, you have it in other colors. They cost maybe like $5 a piece or something. I buy it in like packs of 10 or 20s. The point with these is that they don't need batteries or anything, but to give you light in a dark place. And in many cases, for instance, I've been to the Manilas in the Philippines and so on, and there you have light outages quite often. I've been in Africa and so on, and you can't always rely on that you have sufficient electricity and sufficient light source. So I bring these, and these are very easy to use. Just open the package, you have the tube, and you break it, and then it's fine. So that's the first thing. Then you have light. I think light is important, so that's the first thing. The second thing I have is first aid equipment. I'm a trained medic from the army. I haven't been practicing it for like many years, and it's not what I work with on my day-to-day job, but still, when something happens, you should be able to do something. And I have 3 little items in my emergency kit. First off, I have a syringe. This is a standard issue sterile syringe. Nothing special about it, but for instance, you can use it if you have like distilled water or something like that. You can use it to cleanse a wound, and so on and so forth. And this is very important, because when you cleanse a wound, you want to keep it clean and so on. So that's the other thing I have. This is for, I think it's like 2 or 3 milliliters of distilled water that I just can use I can use it on my eyes if they dry out. I can use it on my on wounds or something, just to be able to like clean it from infections and so on, just as an emergency thing. The last thing I have is a needle. Just a syringe is a part of it's just a standard needle. The main purpose of bringing this is that it's sterile, and like for instance, let's say you have been on a mountain walk and you have walked for hours and hours and hours, and you have a blister on your heel. One of the things is that one of the things you have to do is to drain the wound, and you can of course use a sewing kit and sterilize the needle with the use of a match and something, but just go in your pharmacy, buy one needle, and you can actually use it to do these kind of things, and you don't have to worry about getting infected and so on. So that's a nice thing. So it's very rudimentary. It can handle some just emergency cleaning of your wound and so on, but it can help you in a pinch, just so you get proper assistance. And getting proper assistance, if you need, or communication, is vital. And many places in the world, especially if you're traveling to poorer countries, or you're traveling to countries which are a long way from main population, the GSM or like cell phone coverage could be bad. So what I have done, and I've used it quite a bit, is that I've got myself a satellite phone. For many, maybe this is talked about being a little bit extravagant, but it's a really nice thing to have. I don't use it except when I'm going traveling. But the thing is, the nice thing about this is I use a system called Iridium. You have several large suppliers of satellite phones and so on. But they have, I have chosen them. This special phone here is supposed to be a little bit more dusty and waterproof, and you can use it and so on. And it has the advantage that you can reach anyone, anywhere in the world at any one time. You don't have to rely on that country or that place you're in to have cell phone coverage. Even in Norway, if you're hiking on like mountain plateaus or in certain valleys and things like that, you actually don't have normal GSM coverage, and that can actually cell phone be the only thing they can use. If you're for instance are going on a larger boat trip, then actually satellite phone can be the only thing. Another nice thing about the satellite phone, actually, even though that wasn't the main reason I bought it, is that it's actually cheaper for me to call by satellite phone than to call by my normal phone if I'm on another continent back to Norway. So I actually have done that a little bit. Another nice feature when we talk about security is that Iridium has this little red button here. When you set up that little button there, you can actually press it and it will transmit a message to a predetermined email address. In Northern America, if I understand correctly, you can actually set it up to like transfer your position to, for instance, the 911 emergency services, and they can revoke the search. It's just rescue instead of searching and rescue. They know where you are. You just have to let them get you, and that's a nice thing. So we have talked about light. We have talked about a little bit of first aid, and now we're going to talk a little bit about communication. And the last but not least thing I also have in here is that in beneath the bag, or in here, I also have a small amount of dollar or pounds, it depends on where in the world I am, with currency. The only reason I have that is that let's say you get robbed and so on. It can be actually a hassle trying to find. It can actually be a hassle calling your bank, getting everything, actually just being ready for anything. So I've also considered like laminating a little sheet with the most important contact numbers, like the contact number for the embassies, maybe even a copy of my passport site, and these kinds of things just laying in my emergency kit. So if I need it, I can get it from there. And that was just some short travel tips. And enjoy travel, see the world, and keep safe. For more tips about travel and pictures and photography, just visit my blog, explorerray.com. Please subscribe. Thank you.